Now that you figured out that you need a plan, let me tell you something that a lot of people overlook. People forget that they are still human. You need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to take showers, hopefully. Maybe you need to commute, you need to go to the bathroom. Don't forget that all of these things still take time. So when you're planning your day, you still gotta account for those. Let me give you an example. Say you need to work from 9 to 5, okay? And then you go there and you schedule work from 9 to 5 on your planner. However, maybe you commute, maybe you still need to take a shower in the morning, maybe you eat breakfast. All of those, you're not gonna start them at 9, you're gonna start them before, right? And then if you commute on the way back, you're also not gonna be back by exactly 5. So maybe what you wanna do is either you account for your morning routine or you expand your work from, instead of going from 9 to 5, you would now have, say, starting at 8 a.m. and finishing at 5:30. Let me add to that. You can't just say you're gonna be in bed from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. if when it hits 9:58, you're still gonna take a shower to brush your teeth and do X and Y and Z and blah, 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 blah. Mechanically, what you need to do then is to create a bedtime routine - count down for the wind down. So say if you want to sleep from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., well, maybe you need 30 to 40 minutes before that, maybe even more, and maybe a little bit after the 6 a.m. because some people like to make the download of their soul when they're waking up. You know, when someone wakes up and they're like, for like 20 minutes, well, maybe that's you. And if that's you, maybe you want to account for that. You see what I mean? All those mundane, stupid things that we forget, well, they still take time. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and write down, time to take a shit. No, now that's totally not what I'm telling you to do. However, you still want to be mindful of all those other things. Now, let's try a quick time boxing, accounting for those things, okay? My incredible editor is going to put on the screen this calendar, this planning that we're going to do right now. All right, 6 a.m. Wake up, morning routine, including your shower, your morning walk, and your breakfast. 7:30 a.m., head to work. Now that you know your productive hours, say that you know that your best analytical work is done in the morning. So at 8 a.m., you're gonna focus on analytical work at your job, deep focus, and structure that in the Pomodoro technique. At 12:15 is lunchtime. You're gonna give yourself about 30 minutes, for example, to go out there, go for a walk, but also get lunch. Assume, again, that you can do this in 30 minutes. At 1 p.m., you're gonna go back to work, but now you're gonna do the shallow work - creative work. Again, structured in Pomodoro sessions. At 5 p.m., you're gonna get off work and head to the gym. Now at 5:30, that's when you're gonna start your workout or your daily exercise. But please notice that you were heading out of work at 5 p.m., but now you're only starting at 5:30. I'm doing this because maybe you're gonna have to stay at work a little bit longer, or maybe there's traffic and so and so and so. So I'm giving you enough time for you to be able to do all these things. At 6:30, go home. At 7 p.m., you're gonna get dinner and take a shower and also do the dishes. Assume you can do them all in under an hour. And notice how I'm putting out the dishes because, again, that's something that may take 5-10 minutes depending on if you live alone, if you live with other people. At 8 p.m., you're gonna get me time or a wind down so you can go to bed. At 9:30, you're gonna actually head to bed and it's time to fall asleep. And finally, from 10 to 6 a.m., 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., that's when you're gonna get your sleep. Now, knowing that this is a schedule that you don't have to follow and there's nothing particularly important about this specific schedule, there's a couple of things that I want to highlight because I know there's going to be a couple of questions on this. The first one is the difference between time boxing and time blocking, which I quickly mentioned on the previous video. But what I want to highlight here is that if we were just time blocking, so not boxing, time blocking, we would have just, created blocks, be it them 30 minutes or 15 and all of that. But because we're time boxing, we're trying to push a couple of limits on a couple of things, so much so that you have spaces here for 15 minutes, right? And 45 minutes over here. But we're also accounting for, buffer time. So that's why you have 30 minutes of commute. Perhaps your commute is just 15 minutes. Same here. And now, as I was just mentioning, maybe you get off work late or any situation like that. Another drive here, and so on. So I want you to keep in mind, you're supposed to be creating these small chunks over here to time box properly. I honestly think that, this morning routine would be incredibly large for me. I do not need that much time to get ready. So probably keep it at like between 30 and 45 minutes. My commute is a little longer, so I would generally keep this a little longer, and so on. A couple other things I want to highlight here is that under the gym, you see how I did this open dot here? That's just to, kind of clarify, like, hey, this is something that's still ongoing. You can do whatever version of this works for you. And again, as you start working through the scenarios and through these situations, you're going to see what really works for you. And the final thing is that, again, I mentioned it twice, but I want to mention a third time because third time is a charm. This time boxing, when you're doing work, if you can't associate your work there, I understand that for most day jobs, you can't fully commit to this. People are going to hit you up. You're going to have meetings or things like that. But doing the Pomodoro technique where you can will increase this. So the point, again, this is to allow you to use all of the techniques that you're doing. And I hope this serves as a pretty good example that you can adapt to yourself. Also, you can download the sheet below, and before anyone asks, this app that I'm currently using is called Good Notes, and it's one of the apps that I use for my note-taking. It helps a lot. You can print out this sheet, you can create your own. This is, again, just something to get your juices flowing. This is something that works for me, so perhaps you're going to want to create something for you. For the life of me, this is not the schedule you should follow. This is just an example for you to see how we accounted for many different things and variables that can go into it. The point of this video is to emphasize that not all hours of the day are going to be the same. So you want to account for that and you want to split your day accordingly. All right, off we go. Next video.